All right, guys. Thanks for sticking around for the end of day webinar. It is Wednesday, November 16th. Probably one of the craziest weeks that we've endured since, I guess since June and July with the KBIO, SGY sort of. But I mean, that doesn't even really come close to what we've seen in the last week with stocks like DRYS. And then as more recently today, DCIX. So I know a lot of you guys, being newer traders, probably haven't seen some of this crazy stuff, and I think it's going to be great for you to have the opportunity to be able to watch these types of moves and see how we trade the sympathies. I mean, this was a great example, especially yesterday, for example, of how we kind of used dry ships as our index to making sympathy trades on stuff like EGLE, SINO, SHIP, ESCA, and stocks like that. So it's been a really good learning experience, I think, for a lot of you guys. On top of that, I think that there's a lot of takeaways. Look at SINO ripping into the close here. Shorts are really getting forced to cover up into the offer here, into the close. This is going to be right at the top of the list tomorrow with CHNR. I think that there's a lot of great. You know how we talk so much about how important it is to wait for good entries, not to chase stocks. I think that you guys have seen some really good examples recently of why it's so important, and especially when it comes to like shorting into strength, which is something that we don't really condone doing. But as you guys know, I do make a lot of my profits on the short side. But I have a very specific system that I'm using to keep myself safe. And when I see stuff like, for example, the one kind of disappointing trade today was SINO, because I was really in position here for a big win. But as soon as it goes against what my thesis is, I want to see lower highs. Lower highs. We expect to bounce off VWAP, but we don't want to see it rip right back through 80. 80 was our prior support. We want to see that 80 become resistance. And as soon as it breaks through that level and then it puts a higher low in there, that's your cue. That's where you got to say to yourself, look, this is no longer a short. I need to protect myself, protect my profits, lock it in, and just accept the fact that it's not going to be a home run trade. For SINO, this was kind of a tough one to catch, but for those of you that were following the stream, I said I was looking for kind of a DCIX. Once we were looking at DCIX in this area here because it was starting to look really bearish, and today I was using DCIX as my index, kind of just to lead the shippers for us. So I figured if it breaks VWAP into 2 p.m., kind of a triple bottom there, if it breaks through this time, it's actually going to start trending down. I kind of wish I had actually just played DCIX, because it was actually a fairly straightforward trade. It was a VWAP break, retest, and fail. A fairly low risk trade. You would have had to use less size because there's more range in this one. But what I went is, if you look at what time this broke, so this was basically 2:30 exactly, and look on SINO, 2:30 exactly. So I just was looking for the most overextended stock in the sector I could find that would be, worth shorting in sympathy to DCIX. One thing I wanted to bring to your attention as well is a lot of the time you guys know that I lock in profits along the way. Sometimes I even dump my entire position and then recollect it on a bounce. The reason I do that, as a lot of you guys know, is just because I find that it's just so emotionally disheartening and frustrating to have a big win like this turn into a big loser. And this is, again, an example of why you really need to be careful when adding to a winning position, because this is one of those situations where you might have had a huge win on your hands here and then went to add on the 9 EMA retest and it broke through. You ruined your average price and ended up taking a loss and eating it over 6. So, again, for a lot of you guys, like I say, I think it's important just to focus on one good entry. Don't worry about doing the ads until you're a little more experienced and a little more comfortable with it. But the highlights of the day were all long positions. I'm actually really proud that I was able to, that first of all, that nobody in our group tried to be a hero and step in front of the moves. We were all just following the momentum today, same as yesterday, just looking for quality setups in the morning, playing the momentum. And again, the only short position I took was on, the only real one I took was on DCIX VWAP break, where I thought that this would follow, and it was still a really nice move. Just kind of disappointing because it was the difference between a good day and a really good day. If this had continued, I was prepared to hold it for 520 and lower. So I was really in position for a massive home run if that had worked out. But flip side of the coin, you know, I really handled it well. No, I didn't get stubborn on it. As soon as it didn't do what I thought it should do, I lightened up the load and then ended up taking, basically this ended up being a small gain, which could have ended up being a huge loss or a big winner. But I'll take a small gain over a loss any day. Tomorrow, also I just wanted to highlight one trade that I thought was exceptional today, and that was ESCA. This is one of our favorite setups is the VWAP reclaim. So we have a nice, we have basically kind of a criteria here for it, but this is a little bit different. It didn't really consolidate as much as I usually liked, but we know the sector's on fire today. There's plenty of volume behind this one, ESCA. Here's the daily chart. Okay, so big run off the open. We found a top. We identified it. We marked it. 680, 680-ish. Came down, and then it broke VWAP, and this is where shorts get trapped. So early shorts are getting trapped in here, trap. And then when it reclaims VWAP, I love these for potential long positions. So this has been a very, very profitable pattern for us lately, is for stocks that are, one, they're top percentage gainers in the day. Two, generally works better if they're a bit lower on the float, so under 10 million. That's not necessarily true. It works on pretty much all of them, but I prefer when they're lower floats. They make bigger moves like this. And then you can see like a perfect cup and handle pattern. So basically all of our favorite patterns are laid out in this one, which is why I wanted to bring it up. So here's our VWAP reclaim, and I like when it reclaims it and then it tests it. See that wick right there? So it tested it, held. That's where I usually get my trigger for long. And then if you just zoom it out, I mean, it's a big cup and handle. If you look at the bigger picture, there's the cup, here's your handle. It even tested, retested, and then just ripped. So a picture perfect setup there. Guys, I'm happy with how things are going this week. I didn't smash any trades out of the park, but judging by some of the horror stories, I'm just, and also given the fact that I'm such a big short trader, I have access to basically any short that I want through vision clearing. So, it's not like, it's tempting, but this has been a great week of just following momentum, trading with trends. And you know what? When this bubble bursts, I'm going to be all over it. The backside is going to be so much easier. There's no need to try to be a hero and nail the tops on these stocks. Follow the momentum. We've been taking advantage of some of that short emotion, and I should have paid a little more attention to SINO, because I did mention earlier that if it reclaims and holds a higher low, we might see a short squeeze into the close. I don't know if anyone caught that, but by about 3:30 today, I just got exhausted. I just wanted to step away for 15 minutes before we started our webinar, and so. Let's see. So I'm just looking through a few trades. Biggest trade for me today was EGLE on that VWAP reclaim. Second, that was the second biggest trade. Actually, the biggest one, ironically, was SINO on that short. But still, it was just, I was positioned for a grand slam on that. So even though it was quote unquote the biggest trade for me today, it really wasn't. It was $450, but I was positioned for like $2,000 or $3,000 in that one. So I was prepared to hold it too. So that being said, though, I'm going to be all over SINO tomorrow, SINO. We got shorts trapped into the close. Again, not looking to fight the trend, not looking to get in early. There's going to be a lot of good action for the rest of this week, guys, so I want you to rest up. And I hope you guys were able to take away a lot from today's action and this week's action. I hope everyone is, trading with caution. I have been trading a little bit less size this week, and yesterday I went a little bigger, and I had kind of a stressful day, as you guys know. Into the close, I finished up nicely, but I was kind of in the red for most of the day, and then I had a really nice finishing trade. So it was kind of stressful. Today I just took it easy, a little bit easier, and I had a much, much better day. Just waited for the most quality setups. Again, ESCA, and then SINO short on the VWAP break of DCIX. In between, I had some momentum type of plays, but yeah, guys, just like a really crazy week we got going here, and a lot of great opportunities. So just keep doing what you're doing. Stay patient, trade safe, trade smart. And, if you have some time tonight, a few good materials to review might be our risk management webinar, which you can find in the members portal of our website. That is a lot about trade planning. And I know that like most of you guys that have been with us for 3-4 months, you have a very good grasp of how we properly plan trades, eliminate the emotions, and wait for the proper entries. Just for example, remember earlier when I said that I was looking for 6 to pop over and then just reject it for a short? That this is the kind of stuff where I'll have an order when everyone else is kind of being impatient. They're just scared to miss the move. They might be shorting like into this 77 move. I'll wait, and if I miss the trade, then I just miss it. There's another one ahead. Don't worry. But I'll have an order waiting for that emotional pop over 6. Because a lot of time we'll see something like that happen. So we see a nice rejection at 640 here. Bounce off 50 EMA, standard. We're looking to see a 9 EMA retest, but we'll very often see just an emotional spike over it. And in this case, $6 is a whole dollar level. So a lot of time we'll just see a quick spike over 6 and then an immediate rejection. That gets me really comfortable to short again. When I see a quick pop over, then a really quick stuff, and then I'll short again or have a small order just ready just over. Unfortunately, again, it just really bounced off VWAP. The sad thing is I could have locked in a lot more profit down here. I got a little bit greedy. I wanted to add to the winner. And, again, only a $450 trade, which could have been thousands of dollars. So it is what it is, guys. Tomorrow, I'm very enthusiastic and excited for what's to come. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. And, yeah, guys, before I go today, is there anything you want me to cover? Any questions you have at all? Yep, go ahead. Yeah, we do have a video for that. I'll link you to it in chat in regards to the VWAP and how we play off it. So yeah, I'll link you to that. No problem. All right, guys, have a great night. Tomorrow's watch list, I want CHNR is going to be one of my top watches, along with SINO. Nice squeezer into the close today. ESCA, this one was a little disappointing because I mentioned earlier how this looked like an easy short. It kind of was coming up, putting in a lower high in the 50 EMA. I mentioned it. I said, it looks pretty good for a short. Risk off of 90 right here. And I was really preoccupied with SINO. And I just let it go. And it ended up being one of the easiest short trades out there today. So hopefully don't let any easy ones pass me by tomorrow. But ESCA will keep basically all the shippers on watch and just keep using DCIX as our guide to the movement on them. I mean, there's a direct correlation today with DCIX and SINO. Made it a lot easier to predict the moves when it was leading the way. All right, guys, have a great night. We will see you tomorrow morning.